Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the East Coast Romper YouTube. I am Stephanie, aka Romper Chick. I'm dusting the cobwebs off of this, and we're getting back into chatting and conversing and having some fun with some rock and roll, metal, hardcore bands. And first up is friends of mine that have been friends, oh my God, I don't even know how long, but I am about to head to their band practice to chat with them after they are done rehearsing. And I feel like I'm back in my 20s going to a band practice. So stay on the lookout for On Your Deathbed and my friend Bob Mendel, his band, coming very soon. Just keep watching. Welcome back, guys. I am here with local New England band On Your Deathbed, Bob Mendel, who, while I was driving up here, I wanted you to do some math for me, sir.
Okay.
Do you know how long we've known each other?
Oh man. Well,
Do the math.
I'm gonna guess probably around 95-ish, 96. What do you think? Do you think that sounds about right?
I kind of calculated we've known each other for 34 years. That's fucking insane.
It is a long time because I think we really kind of knew each other from intersecting at Words of Music, I think is when we first started meeting. Am I wrong?
think so, yeah.
You know, so like you would come in, and I think I was maybe working there at the time, or just before I started working there, and I knew about your Romper Chick zine that you did, and you used to bring it to Words of Music and have it there, so I knew about that.
Back when we were kids.
Back when we were little kids, yeah. So yeah, I think it's been since about 96-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier.
Now, were you in a band then?
In 96, I was just finishing with a band at the time with Eric Hodges.
Okay.
And that was Tricky Hidden Cage. That was my first, real band. Mm-hmm. And that was a, funk band, similar to the style of, a Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of a thing.
Okay.
Which is kind of strange.
All right.
You know?
You've evolved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So basically, first question I wanted to ask you, and you guys can all pipe in if you want to give your little, how you guys got into music too. But when did you actually know, what age was it that you wanted to pursue this?
I'd say probably 83-ish when I started getting into metal and Motley Crue and MTV and all that stuff. Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Quiet Riot, Def Leppard, all that stuff was the stuff that really got me going and really into stuff. Van Halen at that time frame, right around when 1984 by Van Halen came out was huge for me and all that stuff. So I think around then, but 83 definitely because of Shout at the Devil and stuff like that. Okay. You know. So yeah, that was for me. I don't know about these guys. Creature, what about you?
Well, basically, I don't know. It all started with Black Sabbath and Kiss.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And all went from there. And then I played music for a bunch of years, and I met this guy.
You've been locked in ever since.
We've been playing together now for
15.
No.
Yeah.
Longer than that. Because we were playing around this at least I'd say 18. I'd say at least 18.
18?
I think so, yeah. Because Aiden was 4 or 5 when we met.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He was little.
Yeah,
So.
you weren't even alive.
No.
You weren't even alive.
What are you laughing about?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
All right.
And I still don't mind being around him.
Well, that's good.
All right.
That's a lot. That's a lot to be said.
Always good. Yes.
Played in a few bands with a few people. And It's tough to be around. So.
about you, Dean? Well, my uncle and my cousin were drummers, so I saw them playing drums when I was like 5 years old, and that's when I started. And I just learned from them. And I mean, if we're talking like bands, see, I'm 30 years old, so I'm a little bit younger than you guys. So for me, it was like, I remember my first metal album was LD50 by Mudvayne. And I was obsessed with the song Dig.
Dig was a great song.
I was very, very young, but I was just walking around with my Walkman jamming that.
Yep.
Before I had a drum set, just playing on the pillows with drumsticks.
Yep.
So stuff like Slipknot, Mudvayne, Avenged Sevenfold, stuff like that back in the day. Back in my day, I know you were.
Back in your day.
Rob?
It's similar, even though I got 6 years on you. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
I got in with. I started listening to like AAF and FNX at the time, and they were playing like Slipknot and Seven Dust, and so the new metal era really kind of got me into metal. But then from there came Pantera and Machine Head, and the rest is history. Then I picked up a guitar when I was 14. My father's been a musician all his life, so I picked up a guitar at 13, 14 years old, and that's it. That's been it ever since.
Cool.
I probably spend more money on music than I do anything else in my life.
That and energy drinks.
And energy drinks. That'd be nip and tuck right there. That'd be touch and go.
James, do you want to pipe in?
No, I mean, I was born. I was born.
She was born with a guitar, and that's it.
Yep, just took off. Ignited the flame.
James, what was some of the early influences that got you going?
Well, you know, it's, again, it got a lot of common area here, right? The first time you hear, like, you grow up, you're listening. When I was growing up, it was the 90s, right? The radio was, in general, already heavier back then, if you like, than it is nowadays. Whole grunge era, and then, you know, Slipknot, fucking Mudvayne, and the radio was heavy as shit in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Even, like, fucking Taproot, and a bunch of fucking killer bands out back then, and I was like, this is heavy, I'm angry.
Yeah.
Even that old school Stain stuff from
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we had what FNX,
FNX, AAF.
AAF, BCN even played heavier
BCN
shit.
played some heavier
you know,
shit.
and
Now they're all religious channels.
right. What was 95.5 in that was that BCN?
Yeah,
No.
BCN.
No, 95.5 was
No.
the Providence one. BCN was a Boston station. The Providence one that was 95.5, the alternative station. Well, anyway, that one.
Yeah, that one's.
But they had it was mostly alternative, but there was heavy alternative also.
Yeah.
You know.
You get like the cool pop punk stuff on there.
Yeah.
Like Sum 41 and
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
I listen to that too.
I listened to that too.
Oh yeah,
So
I
good.
listen to all that stuff.
So good.
I kind of went with all the eras. Like I kind of dug all that stuff. The only stuff I didn't really get into is like I don't know. Like I'm not into like that jam bandy shit from like the
No
70s
Fish.
and stuff. Yeah, Fish.
Yeah,
and,
No Fish.
Like all that stuff. Like I love classic rock, all that stuff, and but I just don't get into the jam bandy. If they're smoking more weed than playing music, then I wasn't really into it. I guess. Except for this guy.
I see 36 real Grateful Dead shows.
You've seen 36 of them? Wow, look at this guy. See, I just can't get
Something
into
like
it.
that. 33,
Dude, he's older than dirt.
Did you really? Wow.
Yeah, well,
Were you like traveling with him and shit?
no, like a bunch of my friends.
Really?
They were
So just
drug
local
fest.
shows. Local.
No,
Jerry
local
would be like,
shows.
Oh, you were
"This is the guy
going
that buys
traveling?
me
Yeah, like Jersey, upstate
Jesus
New York.
Christ, man. He's a fucking
Yeah,
guy.
because it was a party. It was a party, dude. You know, like it was all fun and games.
Yeah.
Huh?
All right.
I mean, like
Jerry would call this
the
guy up
the
every
guy
time
could
he
play
needed
guitar.
weed. Yeah,
you know
he
what I mean? Like the guy could really play guitar.
he'd be like, Creech, got some weed?
This is my buddy Creature.
No, but
But he could have.
How that we've totally derailed this
Okay.
entire interview.
So, all right.
All right. So, well, about smoking weed and stuff.
Yep.
You have been straight edge
Yep.
since I've known you.
I have straight edge socks on right now.
You do. You do. Okay. How has that influenced like your whole life so far? Like,
Well, I mean, I don't really think a lot about it because it's just not something that I was ever into. So it's not something I ever really had to overthink much. You know, like if you start doing something, obviously if it's an addictive thing, you're going to do it. And I know in my family's lineage, there's been addiction, and I didn't ever want to get into something that I knew I could very easily fall into, because I do have an addictive personality when it comes to things. I just choose not to do those things because it's just not for me. You know what I mean?
Sketty's better.
I choose. I was
Better
gonna
option.
say.
They choose, and that's fine. You know, I don't care what people do.
Yeah.
It's just my life. You know what I mean? It's just what I've done, and it's stemmed from, like I said, seeing people in my past that did things that I didn't really think were the best ideas because of the things that they mostly drinking. It was mostly watching a lot of alcoholics and stuff like that.
You were one of the people that helped me get sober.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wanted to get sober, and
that's what made it.
that's
what made it possible.
Yeah, that's what. You don't need someone like me to help you get sober.
No.
You need you to want to get sober to do that.
And then you need to be around people like that.
Yes. And Evil Rob helped you out a lot because Evil Rob knows what it's about. See, I feel like I couldn't have helped you even as much as Evil Rob did because Evil Rob's gone
Was
through
in
it.
yeah.
And he understands what you were dealing with. I don't, per se. I just go, just don't do it. You know what I mean?
Hey, it works!
But that's just me, though. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it's not how it works for people, and I get that, but it's just mentally in my head, I just don't get how it gets to that point. But I do with other things. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm addicted with other shit. Like, I love movies. I buy a bunch of fucking movies all the time. You know what I mean? I buy all kinds of. I love band merch. I go to a show, I buy band merch. You know what I mean? Like there are things that I like that I do, and I just do that. You know, so.
So I'm assuming it never hindered you having certain people in your band or
Absolutely
anything
not.
like that?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, there's been times when I think there's been people in a band that could have caused an issue, but it normally didn't. You know what I mean? Like, or things worked out. Like this guy getting himself sober. You know what I mean? Our first show with this guy. well, I'm going to tell the story real quick. Our first show with the guy. He played great on stage, but then he got off stage and he was drinking like crazy. And he got really kind of messy. And we all talked with him about it and discussed it. And he was like, yeah, you know. And I feel like that might have been a big wake-up thing for you to be like...
Well, it was later that year, I guess.
Yeah, right. So things like that could have been an issue, but he realized it on his own, you know, and was like, hey, I got to make something better with my life, and he did. You know what I mean? That's great.
Yay!
So yeah, look at this guy.
Dude, what are you doing over there?
So yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's never been any doors closed on me because I'm straight edge or anything like that. Because I don't, like, when I was
You don't
younger, I
promote
would
it.
preach about it and
Yeah.
talk about it. I don't do it as much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I just kind of am just me. You know what I mean? So that's that.
Okay. All right. Now, this band,
Yep.
pretty much your baby.
It's me and Creature's baby, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how long has it been a band? I mean, I know you've had different members,
We formed in 2013.
okay.
2013 we formed. We played our first show in June of 2014. Our first show was a Providence Metal Fest for Justin.
Yep.
With City of Homes, Shadows Fall. What was some of the other? Do you remember some of the other bands on that? Shred of Salvation, and a few other bands, like mostly
a bunch of
locals,
bands.
you know. But Shadows Fall headlined it, and it was great. It was cool because I had played with Shadows Fall before with Drained, and a couple of times actually, and it was just cool to be able to play with them again, you know. And it was very cool because like we were still kind of a newer band. We hadn't even, that was our first show, so like to be able to just jump on that. Justin had posted about it. I didn't even really know Justin at the time very well. I kind of knew him from Facebook and stuff. And I reached out. I was like, he's like, oh, looking for bands to play. And I was like, yeah. I said, hey, you guys want to try this? And they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. So I hit him up, and he was like, yeah, you guys want to get on? You can have the opening slot. And even to this day, if you ask Justin if we belonged on that opening slot, because we we freaking did pretty well, I thought. You know what I mean? And he was impressed. So he was like, he even after was like, you guys shouldn't open this. You know what I mean? So it was very cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't expect much different because, like, all of us had been in bands before. Because at the time, it was me, Creature, Jeffrey on, Kaz, and this kid, Benny. And, like, most of us, except for Benny, had been in professional bands already. You know what I mean? We'd already been doing the scene, all of us. So it was just another show to us, you know? So yeah.
Now, you two working together for so long,
Yep.
where do you think your biggest growth has been? Like, as
My
musicians?
personal growth, I feel like between us is just kind of just letting things just be chill. You know, I feel like because I feel like it sometimes we would butt heads a little bit and we don't as much anymore, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
No,
Because he'd have his vision, I'd have my vision, and we kind of like be like, well, it probably should be like this, and it should be like this, and now we kind of seem to be on the same page, I feel. Yes?
I mean, like, it's the reason why it's worked for so long is because I think we both understand what it takes.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
okay. Now, for the rest of you guys, what made you want to be in this band?
They were kind of forced, I think.
I mean, basically,
Mom called me and said, "Hey, you want to try out?" I'm like, "Okay."
That's exactly
said
what
no.
happened at Needham.
Dean actually...
No, we forced him into the band.
All right,
yeah.
we'll tell the quick story about Dean. So Dean, we were looking for
Dean's
a drummer.
the newest.
Dean's the new guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were looking for a drummer, and we had one person come down, and it didn't work out, and we were very discouraged because we didn't have a ton of people reaching out because
Drummers are hard.
Drummers are tough.
Yeah.
Drummers are one of the hardest people to have in a band and have them focus on your band, because most drummers, if you find one and they're good, they're in 10 bands. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But when Herbie left, which he left on amazing terms, he's one of our still greatest friends, such a great dude. When he left, it was a big hole to fill, you know, because Herbie's an amazing drummer. He put so much into the record that we did, and we were like, this is going to be hard to replace, you know? And in passing at a birthday dinner, Dean just happened to go, yeah, I play drums. And the way he said it, I was just like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, yeah, he plays drums. Cool. You know? I was like, oh, and it went the way he said it. I also was like, hey, you should come down, try out. And he was like, yeah, we'll see. You know, maybe. And I was like, okay, all right, cool.
Now,
So,
hold on. Had you heard the band before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
so we had an audition, and it didn't go as we liked it to one night, and we ended up being outside like we do after practice all the time, and we were bullshitting, and I was like, I know this dude from the Haunt, super nice guy, love him to death. I'm like, but he didn't really seem to be that into it, but I can reach out to him. And they're like, all right, fuck it, do it. Yeah, hit him up. So I cold freaking messaged him, call me. And in my number. I didn't say how or why, whatever, just call me.
Yep.
So, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, I was just home and he said, call me. And I'm like, okay. He's like, hey, Bob, what's up? So, I forget you said, you like, hey, what are you doing this Wednesday? I'm like,
Did I go with it like that?
Yeah,
you did.
What are you doing this coming Wednesday?
Yeah, you guys were there.
I'm
so-
like, nothing, what's up? Come on down, try out for the band. I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm a little busy, like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. He's like, come on, just learn like a song or two. And then I ended up saying, like, all right, fine. I remember I talked to Creature on the phone too.
Well,
we were
because
trying to figure out,
we
like,
figured out the time, like the day. Because at first I was like, how about next week? He was like, how about the week after? I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine. So we ended up deciding 2 weeks later, and we weren't sure what he had for a kit. So I told him to reach out to Creature. I think I gave you his number, or I gave him yours.
So that's the thing. That's why I was
Yeah.
hesitant, because, like, I hadn't touched my drum kit in like 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, I had an electric kit I would screw around with a little bit, but like I was like, man, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know, man.
So, can I flash forward?
Oh,
real quick?
yeah.
Flash forward. What was it? 2 days later?
Yeah, it was, I was just gonna say-
minutes
Oh, yeah, it was like an hour later.
Yeah, that night. Yeah,
It
that
was
night. 'Cause
45 minutes
I was
later,
driving
you fucking-
home.
Yeah.
I think I was
You sent it
driving
to all
home.
of us.
Driving home, I get a fucking text message from Dean. It's a video. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. He's slaying the song like he was writing it. I'm like,
yeah, I think I'll be okay.
I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, Lauren's in the car with me, and I'm like, holy shit. Are you fucking kidding me right now? And he's on like an electric kit, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? This fucking dude wasn't gonna come down? So I immediately forward that to all these guys. And fucking, what were your thoughts on that?
I was like, he's hired.
I think he called me right away. He goes, that fucking dude's fucking, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
No, like 45 minutes later, he sent us a song. He hit like all the stops and everything.
I'm pretty sure
I was like,
at that point,
who the fuck else is
fucking
doing that?
Dean was born.
Oh, no. Fucking
No,
D was
fucking
born
D
at the
was born at the
haunt.
haunt.
See,
Was
me
it?
me and Dean go back because he works at Feartown with me. So, he started a couple years ago, and like, we've gotten along great, you know, and I knew he was into metal and shit like that. And so, like, we, at the haunt, one night, I was announcing all the managers and shit, and I just had a fucking brain fart, and I was trying to find him, like, I'm like, trying to look for him. So I'm like, and fucking Dean! So that's how fucking Dean came about.
That's way cooler.
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. So now everyone at the haunt calls him fucking Dean, and it's fucking Dean. So,
Okay,
So,
so after that,
Yep.
you were okay with being in the band. Everything was great.
well, that
Yeah.
then he fucking 2 days later sends me like 2 more tracks of him fucking slaying, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, just fucking be in the band already.
So the whole Spotify rap just came out this
Yeah.
year, and my
On
top
your
5
deathbed?
songs are the 5 songs on the EP.
And who's on his top? On your deathbed. And I'm like,
Just listening to the
fucking
songs
Dean
over and over again.
is
trying to
literally
learn
our
them.
biggest fan.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right. So since you guys are a unit now, are
Yeah.
you working on new material?
We
Shortly.
will be, yes,
Okay.
yes. In the new year, we actually have 2 tracks that we haven't recorded yet.
Okay.
Well, actually 3 tracks technically. We have 3 tracks we haven't recorded yet, so we need to. Now that Dean's settled, we have a bunch of shows coming up, but we're still going to work on those 3 tracks getting recorded. Then we also want to work on some new shit. So we need the maestro to bring some more shit.
You guys have like you said 3, we have 6.
I'm looking at James. I'm like, he's saying 3,
Is
James.
it
Like,
6?
hold on,
Yeah,
there's
there's
3
a
that
All right,
the
yeah,
better
yeah.
music is already done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
like, basically, we're gonna go back and probably do the drums.
Correct.
One again, and
And
somebody's
vocals.
got to record some vocals.
Yeah, I got to record
Okay.
the vocals.
All
But
right.
we're going to redo the drums and the vocals.
Somebody,
So,
yeah.
So, yeah.
somebody being me.
So probably a new.
What did you say? You're going to do it?
No, I said Bob will probably.
So probably a new EP or something mid.
Probably,
2025.
hopefully mid 25. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's a good. We're thinking about maybe instead of doing a full EP, maybe dropping a song here or there.
Well, that's how the music world is these days.
That's
right?
exactly how the music world, and that's the thing. That's why we did the EP also, because we had the songs ready when we decided to scrap our old catalog, and we were just going to work on just the stuff that James had written, and we worked on all that stuff, and then so we decided we had enough to do a full EP. So
He's starting.
you're not doing that now.
What are you doing now?
For people that can't see, James is pulling out a vacuum to vacuum the space right now.
He made a mess.
So upset about the dirt.
You've
Oh,
already
so
mushed
funny.
it in. It's all good.
It
blends in now. It blends in.
I didn't even realize it was still
There
there.
you go. You're good.
I ain't plugging it in.
All right. So for shows, December 20th,
December 20th at Fat Music
At
Hall
Fat.
with City of Homes.
is that the end of this year for
Of
you
this
guys?
year,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you got something New Year?
We are playing right now. We have something scheduled. We have something scheduled but not confirmed for January.
Okay.
And that's what's the date of that one?
25th.
The 25th.
Okay.
That one's going to be in, I think, Capatchit, Rhode Island.
Yep.
Capatchit, Rhode Island. I'm breaking news right now. We're going to be playing with Barbarian and Scarecrow Hill.
They're still together?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So we're playing with them, and that hasn't been announced yet, but that's what's going on.
Okay.
And then we're playing in February at the Dead of Winter. Well,
Way to go, Bob.
I always say that. So we're playing Dead of Winter film festival, horror film festival. We're
Fun.
doing the after party. The festival itself is at Mechanics Hall in Worcester, and that is on, what's the weekend of that?
22nd.
The 22nd is the
Is when we're
Saturday.
playing.
Yeah. So that we're playing the after party, which is on the Saturday, which is the 22nd.
Okay.
It's Saturday and Sunday for the
Of
convention.
February.
Of February. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that's
So-
Dead of Winter, and it's going to
And
be a
where's
bunch
that
of-
going to be?
That is at Mechanics Hall, but the after party show where we're playing is
Yeah.
at Ralph's in Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to do a quick this or that.
Okay.
So you guys can pick what you this or that.
Okay.
All right. First one. Live one immortal life or reincarnate every 10 years.
Reincarnate every 10 years.
He wants to start anew.
No,
Immortal life sucks.
I'd say Immortal Life.
sucks.
I'd say Immortal Life because I'd like to spend as much time with the people I care about the most
Who cares?
forever.
Okay.
Better than being
Alright.
alone for
What?
the rest of the time.
But at least I'll remember you.
But we're not gonna be immortal, so you have to watch us die over and over.
Well, maybe I could figure out how to make you immortal too.
See? 10 years reincarnation.
Hey, if I'm
Better
immortal,
than
I can figure this stuff out. It's called vampirism.
Immortal?
He is
I
immortal.
am.
Look at the guy.
Look at the guy.
I haven't found anything that can kill me yet.
His veins are pumped with weed.
Okay. Dean?
Immortal.
Immortal? James?
You're
If these guys are gonna be immortal, I'll hang out with them. Well, I'm ready. But I'm being polite. I'll go with immortal. I'll hang out with my
Wow.
boys for all eternity.
I'm the only one reincarnating every 10 years.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see you in a couple years.
You'll see that little butterfly.
You'll see me every 10.
Hey, you know what? It's going to be like 50 first dates or whatever. Yeah. When you come back to life, we'll be like, hey, dude, you know us. You know us.
Yeah, I'll be a little butterfly.
It's gonna be like
So-
fallen
Oh, my God.
from what we do in shadows. We have to like raise him every day.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Pizza.
False hope or unnecessary anxiety.
Oh, fuck. I'll take false hope every day.
False
Ignorance
hope.
is bliss, baby.
Oh, God, yeah.
Hey,
False hope?
Yeah,
We're all in
I wish I could
agreement?
get rid of my anxiety.
You and me both.
Especially unnecessary.
All
Alright.
of those things. So.
Next one. Hear or see the supernatural. Hear the supernatural.
Oh, hear or see. Listen to or see.
Yeah.
Every time he looks in the mirror, he sees the supernatural.
I'd rather see it because I don't want to have them bitching at me too much.
Okay, all right. See it?
Yeah.
I'm immortal, so nothing matters.
He is supernatural.
Yeah, he is. We're all hearing and seeing creatures right now, so that answers that question.
All
He's a
right,
ghost.
next one. Would you go to a Slayer concert wearing a One Direction shirt or in your underwear?
In my
There's
underwear.
lots of guys in their underwear.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can I do both?
Can I do both?
Can I do both? Because I'd be
They
That
might
is
have.
his underwear.
They might
He's being-
have. One Direction might
shirt.
have underwear.
I'll do both.
Bob shows up to a Slayer concert in One Direction.
My
Strap
skivvies.
down before going on it.
One Direction underoos.
All
right, last one.
Wait, can we
Oh.
talk about One Direction?
Do you want to
One of
talk
them
about?
died though.
Yes, I know, poor thing.
So is it a 4-piece now?
It might be.
You're the only one on the One Direction upkeep here, dude.
Huh? I know that.
He went to a Harry Styles concert.
I did actually.
Oh.
Twice.
Yeah. No, once.
Oh,
Once.
yeah, you didn't go.
Well, at least you got to see him
I did get to see Harry
Good.
Styles. Yes.
by
Harry
yourself.
Styles didn't die.
Oh,
Yep.
No.
What-
No, Harry Styles didn't
dead.
die. It wasn't him.
I thought Harry Styles died.
No, it was Niall.
No, it was Niall.
Oh.
Niall Styles? Wow.
All right.
Very nice.
I love Niall. The band.
Last one. Would you rather listen to a song with terrible vocals but brilliant lyrics, or amazing vocals and terrible lyrics?
Amazing vocals, terrible lyrics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there's
A lot of
plenty
my
of those
favorite
bands that I do love.
As you were asking that, I'm like, whatever the hell the other option is.
I mean, like, sometimes you just don't understand what anybody's saying, so like,
That's-
what does it matter?
Right.
That's
It matters
true.
about the key and the tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As long as it sounds
Well,
good,
depends, you know.
we can roll with the rest.
Okay. All right. And last but not least, do you guys want to shout out anybody? Do you want to give some love to the local scene? If you love any other bands, what do you want to say for your last comments?
We have a lot of bands that we love, you know. The list is honestly too fucking
Yeah,
long.
to start naming them would probably not do justice.
Yeah.
Tons of
Okay.
bands we would love to shout out. We love playing with.
I mean, we want to send out love to all of our friends that we play out with, people that come out to see us play. I don't want to say fans, but for our friends that come out
Your
and see us
families.
play. Our fam-
Your
Well,
your fan.
My family
families?
don't really come much, but the friends.
Okay.
Well, the metal family comes out. My wife and daughter come out. you
That's
know?
right.
You know, but yeah, I mean, I like to shout them out. Want to shout out Evil Rob because we love Evil Rob.
Yeah, let's talk about Evil Rob getting to do a podcast episode because he thinks that no one wants to know who he
Oh,
is.
stop it.
Yeah.
So let's all
Stop
say
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Rob.
Evil
Yeah.
Rob should do a podcast.
Thank
of course.
I'll
you.
work on that.
Okay, thanks.
But of course, people should listen to Evil Rob. Rob's been around doing a lot of good shit.
he's a funny
and
bastard.
He's an awesome
He
guy.
is.
Fucking great on it.
I want to shout out Jeremy Saffer also. Speaking of photographers,
Hell
Jeremy's
yeah.
always been super cool with us. Love him. Love everything both those guys do. I want to thank all the people that have ever given us a chance playing shows, giving a shit about actually letting us play with bigger bands and you know, all the different venues that still do heavy original music. You know, yeah, I mean, and obviously all the bands we play with, you know, all the bands that are doing original heavy music, you know, because
Every show we play is like a homie fest.
yeah, it really is.
Every show. Every show.
You know, we have a lot of friends in the scene, a lot of friends in you know, in the metal scene. I have a lot of friends also in the hardcore scene, and you know, I love playing music. We all love playing music, and that's what brings us together. You know,
That's it.
and you know, I feel like in some instances the unity of the metal scene is really good, and then there's some times when it's not so good. So you just
Because
gotta
it's
do
a
your
family that happens.
well, no, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
The
That's why
ups and
you're just going to try to
downs.
focus on the positive shit, you know? So yeah,
right.
that would be the shout outs. Shout out to you, Steph,
Well, thanks.
for
I think James wants to vacuum now.
Really pushing
but you've been doing this type of thing for a long time.
I
think that's
have.
pretty awesome.
Yes.
And you know, it's
Thank you for your time.
yes, thank you for
Yes.
your time.
Anytime.
Sorry I was late.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's right.
Rob's getting kicked out right when we hang this up.
Yeah.